Today in the crypto space, we see the market still showing some strength. Bitcoin right around $104,000. Ethereum, the man of the match, once again right around the $2,700 mark, up approximately 9%. And the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, are doing pretty good, following Ethereum's lead to the upside. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about an older project that has been looking pretty good for that nice rounded bottom, and that project is called Helium. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunity. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here, because we do see a pretty good market. However, it seems a bit frothy at the same time. And usually, frothy markets are ones of which we do get good price action, but it's not really convincing. And we can see oscillators kind of going counter. We do see, a lot of wicks and a bit of pressure as we reach horizontal levels of resistance in this case. So what we really have to do is consider this an opportunity for continuation to the upside, but also a scenario where it could be a little frothy, where we eventually roll over. The lower time frames are not looking the best. There's not real major edge for continuation up just yet. However, guys, we cannot be bearish here. Continuations mean that we're going to continue holding our bullish positions and our bullish mindset until proven otherwise. However, getting offensive, getting aggressive, getting right now into fresh lungs are not the greatest idea, because a lot of the charts are currently hitting horizontal resistance at previous levels of psychological, even volume-based support or resistance, which means that we're buying into tops and you're not buying bottoms. And that's a bit of a problem, guys. So you definitely don't want to be buying tops. You want to be buying bottoms. And a lot of projects right now are looking for breakouts. But unfortunately, breakouts are like you buying previous highs, basically buying the tops, even if they're local tops. So this is one of the issues here today, guys. And of course, today I'm going to be talking about a project that's slightly lower cap, an OG pretty much in this space. It did get into a completely different blockchain. It got into Solana. It decided to migrate to Solana. Of course, we're talking about Helium, and it is on the second page of CoinGecko. Okay, so I'm starting to look at the second page, and not to say that I'm going all in on the second page, but it's just a matter of looking at smaller projects, less than $1 billion market cap. As you can see, we have a lot of them that are still up today. If you kind of look at what's happening, up, a lot of them are up 50, 60%. As you can see, 65% for Radium in the last 30 days, that is. And even the last 7 days, 35, 20, 30, 40, 50%, 70% for Brett, and many others, guys. There's a lot of altcoins, even on the second page, that are doing good. Now, as we come down into the market cap, we take on more risk. And because of that, I have to just say this. If Bitcoin decides to roll over even a little bit, even if it comes down to 97 or 100,000, just a little bit, we're going to see that the lower cap altcoins will take a bigger hit. And why I want to cover some of these is because I want to be prepared. Which projects should we have on our watch list to prepare to buy the dip and accumulate? There are many. There are definitely many. Why I decided to talk about HNT, Helium today, is all about its narrative. And we'll talk about that in a second. In the meantime, I know you're here to talk about charts. So let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with Bitcoin at the end of the day is still showing strength as long as it continues to go sideways. However, we have to understand this: as it goes sideways, Bitcoin coming down even the slightest could cause the market to dip the slightest, or even more so, right? We have to prepare for that. Lower market caps have more volatility. Now, as long as we go sideways here, guys, this is perfect for Bitcoin, perfect for the market, perfect for the altcoin season, perfect for the Bitcoin dominance, and perfect for everything that you're here for regarding the altcoins. Okay, that's the value, that's the reality. So we're okay. But if we slowly kind of, dig deeper, you can see that Bitcoin, even on the daily, is overbought. Okay, now getting into fresh longs on Bitcoin in an overbought state the way it is right now is a little bit dangerous, because you're buying slightly frothy scenarios, slightly higher levels, right? And you don't want to buy tops, you want to buy bottoms. And as we approach the previous high, as we linger in this level, the best thing that Bitcoin could do is get into an exchange of hands. Go sideways for a little while. Allow people that are taking profits from these bottom levels that have basically ran up here. If you bought the dips around here with me here on the channel, you guys know that we are in some deep green. And to be honest, I've been taking a lot of profit. And of course, I'm going to be taking profit because we're reaching previous highs. And with that being said, I'm expecting an exchange of hands. Let's say we go sideways a little bit. Let's say that we retrace even a little bit and come down a little bit. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with a bit of retracement. Even if we came down to 97, guys, the reality is it would be absolutely healthy, absolutely normal to see Bitcoin backtest the point of control, the previous level of horizontal support based on volume, as you can see this node, and it would give us an opportunity to potentially go sideways and then continue to the upside very healthily. And the reason is because we're going to allow the short-term profit takers to take profit, and then we'll allow the bullish bids to pile in. The ones that think that we're ready to continue to the upside and break previous highs will be accumulating, and we will get enough data to see, is there enough sell pressure for the price to fall hard? If there's enough buy pressure to absorb all the sell pressure, we go sideways, and it's a very healthy indication that we will eventually, as soon as the sell pressure is over, get ready for another move to the upside. And that's when we might see the altcoins really start to show some strength, while Bitcoin takes a coffee break and gives us the exchange of hands right into this level. Bitcoin going sideways provides a very interesting environment for the altcoins. Bitcoin is not making any gains. Bitcoin becomes a stable coin. Bitcoin basically allows people to exit their Bitcoin positions, look and speculate for other opportunities, while still allowing them to make some gains and then come back to Bitcoin when Bitcoin's ready to start to move again. And that's quite interesting of an opportunity. And this is what usually happens. Rotation, rotation, rotation. So what I want to do is get a bit of a signal that Bitcoin is, going to go sideways a little bit and maybe kind of range and give us that opportunity, or else Bitcoin's going to continue and go into price discovery, guys, in one go. It's very possible. Now, the sell in May go idea definitely kind of, got put to rest, which is fine. But it doesn't mean that the market in the summer is going to be hot. It doesn't mean that. It just means that maybe we won't dip. And at best case scenario, in this case, during the summer, where we're usually seeing, corrective measures, we go sideways. And that's also very healthy for the market. Okay, guys, so Bitcoin right now, you can see, is still doing okay in overbought conditions. We do see the volatility line pushing down, which suggests that maybe we do see a bit of a dip. And then also we're seeing a bit of divergence here on the oscillators with regards to trend. This purple expansion is not so far not as big as the previous, but guys, this is the way the market is. Peaks and valleys, ebb and flows. We got to be prepared regardless. Personally speaking, I'm focusing on altcoins. Let's jump into the markets, guys. I know you're here to continue talking about price action, and today I want to talk about HNT. Why? Is because HNT, Helium, is an interesting value proposition, and I'm going to try to cover really interesting projects. If you don't know what Helium is decentralizing your internet connection, the physical aspect of the network of our internet. And I find that to be really interesting, because ultimately there are choke points in Web3, and one of them being the physical internet connection. Helium came out with a brilliant opportunity to start to decentralize those internet connections and completely give us a decentralized network from hardware all the way to software. So for me, this is a great value proposition. It is a very rare project, meaning that there are not many competitors within the space. We see that Helium, after it did get migrated to Solana, it did take a bit of a hit, but guys, all good. The reality is that at the current moment, we are getting a beautiful change of character with a great weak spot above to allow the price to go up much higher. So let's talk about this. Now keep in mind, right, we are potentially going to see Ethereum continue showing strength and outperforming Bitcoin in the next little while, which will give us a signal that we should be continuing to look at altcoins. Now I'm going to get the oscillators out of the way for a second and just focus on price action. We'll jump into the oscillators, and then we'll kind of solidify it via price action once again, market structure. Okay, so let's put some horizontals in. I like to always start my TA by looking at horizontals. This obviously previous lows. Obviously we gotta entertain and understand that that's the invalidation of any bullish thesis here that we may have. We have a volume gap, which is the opportunity that I like focusing on, and then I put red boxes in here just to give myself some clarity. Look at the clarity that we get here. Look at that beautiful emptiness that we get, which will allow the price to fly right through eventually. Now the question is when, right? When is very difficult. Why? Because we've been respecting the zone already for so long, which means that we got to be patient. We got to be super patient, because if the market decides to take a dip, Bitcoin, Ethereum starts to roll over here to pick up some more bullish bids, we got to wait to see if this becomes a quick distribution so that we can come down and still maintain a higher low. What I like about this is that we did get a nice double bottom. Beautiful. We did break out of this level. We did break above this. We did break above this. But the real magic is in at this level, which is at about $4.32, maybe a little bit higher, $4.50. Okay. If it can break above 450, it is very likely that the price basically flies to about 475, 470. Okay, and then we hit our next level of resistance. So let's put some green arrows, some arrows in here. Obviously, we can see that this is resistance at the current moment. So we're going to put a red arrow in here, a small one, just to keep ourselves in tune with the reality of what's happening here. It's a little bit of red, and the reality is that if we break through the volume gap, you expect a little bit of resistance as well, right? We're not going to, it's very unlikely that we fly right through this without a reaction. Okay, look at the volume, look at the emotion. You know how many emotions are here? Lots of emotion in the visuals that expected this to continue for the bull run. Okay, so then we came down, the smackdown came down for that lower low, and there's still people holding red bags waiting to exit, at least break even. Okay, keep that in mind. They're looking for an exit pump, so we will get a bit of a reaction. In the meantime, if we cannot break above the 430, the 440, the $450 mark right on this horizontal where that volume gap is, you guys will roll over and potentially come down and look for bullish bids. And I can see it happening right around $3 to about 385 or 280, sorry, right into this level, which would be great to see, because if we start using Fibonacci, all we're really doing and all we really would like to see is a discount. Let's get back to the discount zone. As you can see, we did kind of expand out of this level, which now we're consolidating. Ideally we continue, guys, but if we can get the opportunity, again, just forward thinking, come down to the 0.5 fib golden pocket 786 right around this level. Let me put another box in there so I can highlight this retracement in a little bit more clarity for you guys, and I'll make this one yellow so that the box actually makes more sense for us. Let's kind of see what we got here. No, let's just do one of these. Sorry guys, let me do one of these. All right, and then you can see that we can change it yellow to make it a bit more clear. There you go. So this is a level of which I find to be the price in a more of a discount. You're not buying such a premium. Right now we're at a pretty much resistance. This is a resistance level. So you're not buying, you know, on the cheap. You're not buying the dip. You're not buying the bottom on this structure. You're buying the top of the structure, and hopefully we break out. So I might say, well, Mike, it looks like an ascending triangle. Well, let's jump into lower time frames for a second and see what's going on there. And guys, mind you, we haven't even touched oscillators. This is pure market structure. We're looking for a potential edge on market structure. Okay, so that's that. Let me get rid of some of this artwork that I got going on here. Let's jump into the 4 hour, and you'll see that, you know, the double top is not the greatest. Obviously we're above the EMA, which is nice, but this, you know, with this slightly lower high, I don't like that either. A bit of a rounded top, clear distribution on this top, I don't like that either. Do we break down here? Possible. We've been seeing a little bit of froth in the market in the last little bit. However, some projects looking good, but still, guys, generally speaking, HNT, if it does break down, we'll probably get down in the discount zone right down here. So be prepared. Now, what about if we don't? What about if we remain bullish here? Now, I can see the argument that this potentially becomes a structure that we get a continuation to the upside. We did impulse, we came down, now we're going sideways. It does look like it's kind of flagging. It looks like an ascending type of triangular formation. And when an ascending triangle is coming in from an impulsive move, it tends to want to break eventually to the upside. It does have a bullish bias. So it could be very possible, guys. And this is where I'm going to start to say, well, if there's a possibility, how much capital are you willing to deploy into this possibility, and where are you going to invalidate this possibility? The reality is the invalidation is not good. Okay, the only invalidation that I can see is literally coming down to here. Okay, and if we break below this, that's also maybe possible invalidation. If we break down and swing below this level, and you can see this wick that caused the entire impulse to the upside, the question is it going to come and test this level and sweep all these stop losses that are here, here, and here, and maybe down here, and then come down to the discount and then start running? It could be possible, so prepare for that. But what about if we continue going sideways and this doesn't happen, and then boom, we do one of these? So really, it's about DCA. It's all about exposure to the volatility, exposure to the asset little by little. Okay, so let's leave that here for a second. And then let's also zoom out one more last time to make you guys understand the impact of buying these levels. So if we do buy around this zone, let's say hypothetically we buy right now, and then we get into resistance, we're up 45%. Nice. If we get rejected once again, you're going to potentially come down and you'll take a bit of a hit of about 28%, maybe even lower, about 30-35%. 3x positions will get liquidated. Okay, so this is something to consider. 2x, very unlikely. Of course, spot, no liquidation, just for those of you that are new to trading. Okay, then we have this level, and all the way above, we have also some good key weak spots that I might as well highlight right now as we are here. We have this empty volume gap that obviously I'm going to entertain. I'm going to expect that the price flies right through without much resistance, and we'll put a red box there as well, just to highlight the importance of that level. And of course, once we break above this zone, we got to understand we'll get some volatility. Point of interest with regards to bearishness, meaning, guys, if we get there, it's absolutely fine to use this as a point of interest and see if you get any signals of a reversal, even if it's a short-term dip. I would expect more of a reversal here than over here, to be honest. But let the price get there, and then we'll deal with it. Okay, so that's that. Let's take a look at oscillators. By the way, guys, if you want to know more about these oscillators, they're called Synergy Signal. I got links in the description. Obviously, they're below. Complete website that will give you a lot of information about how to use it and what it's all about. Feel free to check it out. But right now, the oscillators are telling me, it's going to daily real quick, that the daily has gotten slightly overbought. Very slight. And what I don't like about this whatsoever, and I can see this throughout the market, guys, there are some random projects right now that are pumping. Grass took off, guys. If you got into that grass position with me, great, congrats, because right now it's up 13%. I was going to do a video on that one, but I didn't want to induce any FOMO tonight or today. So I think I'm going to leave that for another day. It's up 13-14% in one go. So good stuff there. But generally speaking, what I am seeing is right now, Helium right now getting an Uno reverse right here in volatility. I don't like that. I really don't. That bothers me, because where's the strength there? Ultimately, this shows me weakness. We got slightly overbought right here on the daily, slightly, even so slightly, but we do see lots of divergence here. So my question is this: could we get a short-term pullback, maybe come down to the discount zone, maybe see this thing fully reset and come down here, maybe get the volatility line down here, maybe start to see the trend oscillator maybe correct a little bit more, and then finally start moving to the upside once again? One last capitulation before we start moving to the upside one more time, and that would be the best entry. Now again, like I said, we don't know if this is going to happen. It's all a game of probability. If it does happen and we come down to about 3 to 250, what are you going to do about it? That is the question. Are you going to be ready? Are you going to have the conviction to buy the dip on this project? Or are you going to just maybe buy right now and just hold tight, right? Because if you think about it, the ultimate strategy at the current moment is to DCA. right? Because you have a clear level, you have a clear range, and we want to break this range. And we have respected the bottom of the range and the top of the range fairly equally. And you can see this based on the volume. The volume is showing you that there was a lot of market participation into this level, which at the end of the day, if this market participation wants to continue trading within this range, who's to say that we can't break down and come back to the bottom of the range, even, you know, right around here, and then go back up and so on, and go then finally look at this as a double bottom and then start to really move, right? That's very possible. Even a 50% retracement, that we start calling this a cup and potentially a handle, and we start running. Maybe this is a cup and handle. I really don't see it as a cup and handle, but fine, maybe it is. This is the problem, guys. So what I would do, personally speaking, of course, not financial advice, I would be doing this, is I would be doing a 30-30-40 split. Okay, so what that includes is buying the dip all throughout this level, buying a little bit now, 30%. Once we come down to about $2.20-$2.25, buy another 30%. Once we come down to about 260, 250, buy 40%. That way you have your average entry right in the middle of about 320 more or less. Or maybe you just scored one entry right here, right now. You don't miss out. Yes, you didn't pack your bag completely, but at least you got 30% of your position filled, and you're not going to regret it once we start pumping. At least you got something. I love the rounded bottom, guys. You guys know that I like those rounded bottoms. The problem is that you're buying slightly tops at this breakout. So I would like to say that if the possibility and the opportunity comes for a dip to come back to the discount zone, I would say that's when you should be much more content and much more willing to accumulate. But right now, guys, you're preparing for a potential move to the upside, given the fact that Ethereum currently is up. We see a lot of altcoins up. Bitcoin's still showing strength. Everything is looking good, and people are yapping about altcoin season. Okay, guys, so this is all about a game of probability, no certainties whatsoever. And if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor, slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.